Hello and welcome to lesson 2 of strategic thinking. In this lesson what we're going to look at is developing a strategy. So if a strategy is a plan for achieving a vision, it's a goal-directed thing, then what we need to look at now is what's involved in developing such a strategy. Well, to begin with, what we need to do is start with a vision. Start with some clarity about where it is you want to get to. This may seem like an obvious thing to say, but something I've noted in my work over the years is how many people do not have a vision, that they just sort of press on with what they're trying to do. They take each day as it comes. They just do what is required to them as best they can in the circumstances. And there is no sort of general plan of where they're trying to get to, what they're trying to do. Similarly, this can happen at a team level. You can have teams who lack clarity about what they're trying to do, and you can actually have team members who are pulling in different directions and having all sorts of problems because of that. Similarly, organizations can lack a vision, lack a sense of what is it they want to be, what is it they are trying to achieve here. So don't be taken in by the simplicity of this statement of start with a vision. This is really important. We have to have considerable clarity about what is it that we're trying to achieve, what is that end result, what is the picture we're trying to create of where we are trying to get to through our efforts. Once you have that vision, you can then plot a route to achieve it. Once you're clear about what it is, then you can start to think about how do we get there? What is the route we need to follow in order to get from where we are now to where we want to get to? Some people refer to this as strategic gap analysis, which is just a very fancy way of saying, be clear about where you want to get to, look at where you are now, look at the gap between the two. How do you bridge that gap? What strategy, what is your strategic plan that you're going to adopt that will enable you to move forward from where you are now to where you want to be? So this idea of having a vision and then plotting a route to achieve it is at the heart of developing a strategy. It's central to strategic thinking. Now, once you've got that clarity about where it is you're trying to get to, what route you need to do, then what you need to do next is clarify the tactics. And this is a technical term that refers to the sort of the details of what you want to do. So it's similar to the difference between overall aims and specific objectives. So you can think of your overall aim as the vision, and then the tactics being specific objectives that need to be achieved in order to get that vision turned into reality. So the tactics are the more specific things that fit into the overall picture. Later on in the course, we'll actually look at a particular technique or method that can help you to do this. But for now, I just want to explain that we need to look at the details. Having a strategic vision, looking at that big picture, is really important, but we then need to actually break it down into the details. If we don't have the details, then it's unlikely that the strategy will work. So much depends on the details, and that's what we mean by the tactics, the specifics, the specific things that need to be put into practice. Now, hopefully things will go really well, but we have to be realistic and recognize that things won't always go well. So the next step we need is to identify possible obstacles, problems, and threats. So what could get in the way of moving forward towards this vision? What problems might we encounter on the way? And what can threaten this vision? What could actually stop this from happening, prevent it from becoming reality? So we need to give some careful thought to what these are: possible obstacles, problems, and threats. Now, of course, we don't have a crystal ball, so we won't be able to anticipate everything that might go wrong, but giving it some careful thought will identify a number of potential problems, and then that will enable us to think about what we can do about those. And that then is the next step, is to develop contingency plans. And by that, what I mean is, what are we going to do if we hit an obstacle? Can we remove that obstacle? Can we go round it? Can we minimize its impact? That's one example of a contingency plan. If there are any problems we anticipate, what can we do to prevent them? Or what can we do if they do arise? And so on. So contingency plans are about being realistic, of not just thinking, yes, we've got a vision, we've got an idea of how to achieve that vision, we're just going to press on and everything's going to be fine. With a bit of luck on your side, it may well be, but more realistically, it pays to anticipate potential problems and be prepared for them. That's what I mean by develop contingency plans. Okay, so that brings us to the end of lesson 2. What it's about then is being clear about what the vision is to begin with, clear about the plan for achieving that vision, breaking that down into smaller steps, the tactics, and then also anticipating problems, obstacles, threats, and so on, and being prepared as far as we reasonably can for being able to address those if or when they do arise. That's the contingency planning bit that we need to put into place as well. Okay, I hope that's been useful. Thank you.